The way that the NBA stands this season, there's a ton of parity, and there's a bunch of teams who actually have a legit shot at winning the finals. And one of those teams that is hopeful to throw their name in that conversation is the Dallas Mavericks. But as you can see in the title of this video, I think the Mavericks actually messed up big time, and I think they really screwed up their chance at winning the finals this season. And more importantly, I think they kind of messed up a little bit of their future. But before we get into that, I want you guys to go down below, hit the like button as hard as you can, hit the subscribe button, and I want you to leave a comment about what you think about the Dallas Mavericks future. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's looking murky? Just let me know what your thoughts are. And now let's get right into the video. So as of right now, the Mavericks are one game under 500, and they're sitting at 36-37 on the season. And right now they're the 9th seed in the Western Conference, which is terrible for this team. With a team that should be having championship aspirations, the 9th seed is disappointing. And even though they are the 9th seed, they still can drop down. Obviously, they can go up from here, but there is a chance that a team like the Lakers, with how hot that they've been recently, can jump up above them. The Jazz can go on a little run and jump up. And so the Mavericks are in a terrible spot as of right now. And one stat that I want to bring up is that since February 6th, the Mavericks are 8-11. Now, you probably wonder why I bring up the date February 6th, and that's because that's the day that they traded for Kyrie Irving. So the exact trade for Kyrie was that they got Kyrie and they traded away Spencer Dinwiddie, Dorian Finney-Smith, a 2029 first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Spencer Dinwiddie was the second highest scoring player on this team, and Dorian Finney-Smith was by far and away the best perimeter defender. And when the trade happened, I was excited for the Mavericks that they got Kyrie because we knew Kyrie was going to be traded. But what I didn't like was how they gave away Dorian Finney-Smith, because he was pretty much their one perimeter stopper. He was by far the best defender on the team. And so when you're in the Western Conference and you're in the playoffs, you're going to have to go against a team that has Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. You're going to have to go against a team that has Steph Curry. You're going to have to face Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Because you know what I'm saying? Like, the West is a nightmare right now. And if you have no players who can take on that matchup and guard another team's best player, you're in trouble. And so in the last 15 games, the Mavericks are a bottom 5 defense in the entire NBA. And not only that, they're also the worst rebounding team in the entire NBA post All-Star break. And so not only does this team not have a standout perimeter defender, they also really have no interior presence on the offensive side or the defensive side of the ball. They are by far the worst rebounding team in the league post All-Star. And by the way, Luka Doncic is the leader on this team in rebounds. So like, they have Maxi Kleber, they have Dwight Powell, who take up a lot of the center minutes. But those guys, although they are good, if you want to compete at the highest level, those really aren't the bigs that you want on a championship level team, which is, again, what this team is aspiring to be. And so the supporting cast for this team is just lackluster. It's just very lackluster. Now, you notice I haven't really said anything negative about the offensive side of the ball so far. And that's because I honestly truly do believe that an offense led by Kyrie and Luka is sustainable basically with just those two guys. Like, those two guys can carry your team to having one of the best offenses in the league. You just need some other guys to be able to make some threes to be able to take pressure off those guys. And the Mavericks actually shoot the 3rd most threes per game in the NBA. They shoot the most corner threes per game in the NBA. And so I do like how their offense is set up to mainly go through Kyrie and Luka, basically mainly heliocentric, and having those other guys be able to spread the floor and shoot threes to take pressure off those guys. But I would like for this team to have a little bit more of an interior presence and be able to, get those extra possessions with an offensive rebound, or, be able to close out on defense and get a stop and get that rebound. I do think this team needs more of an interior presence, and Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber just don't really get that done. And Christian Wood, I like Christian Wood, but ever since he's been on the Mavericks, he's kind of been disappointing. And so the one thing that does scare me is that the Mavericks gave up Dinwiddie, Finney-Smith, and 3 draft picks for Kyrie Irving, and this is the last year of Kyrie's deal. We know how unpredictable of a person Kyrie can be at times, and after trading for him, if this doesn't go right, Kyrie can easily just bounce in the offseason. He easily can just bounce in the offseason. And then the Mavericks are in a very tough spot because they don't have that many assets that can be put in together for a package to trade for another star, which In this league, the way that it's looking right now, you're going to need 2 stars if you want to win a championship. It doesn't matter how great Luka Doncic is or how amazing he can be at times. If he doesn't have a second star to be that Robin next to him, it's going to be extremely hard for him to win a championship. And if Kyrie leaves, then this team just goes right back to square one. And so, although I do appreciate them trying to take another risk, like again, they tried to take a risk on Kristaps Porzingis and try to make him the Robin to Luka's Batman, but that didn't really work out. Now they're trying again with Kyrie. It can work if they do have the right supporting cast around them, but with the 26th ranked defense in the last 15 games, you can't be a bottom 5 defense in the NBA and also want to win a championship. Those two just don't go together. And so yeah, I don't think that the Mavericks they'll probably make the playoffs, but I don't think that they're really going to make any noise in the playoffs this year. I hope I stand corrected because I really like Luka and I'm rooting for Kyrie, but the way that the team is currently constructed, I don't see that happening. Also, they don't have that many future pieces. They don't really have that many good young players. I really like Josh Green. He's a young player who has some potential, but he's really their only young piece that can be flipped. They have a decent amount of draft picks. They don't have all their draft picks because of the Kristaps trade and because of the Kyrie trade, but it's just going to be really hard for this team if Kyrie leaves. And as of right now, what incentive does Kyrie really have to stay here? And so yeah, I think they really messed up. I think they squandered their opportunity, and I think that they could have, instead of taking steps forward with the Kyrie trade, I think it might have set them back a little bit further if Kyrie does leave. And we know how he can be at times. We know how unpredictable he can be. And so yeah, that's really it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you guys go down below, like the video, comment again what you think about the Mavericks. Do you like the Kyrie trade? Do you think it's going to blow up in their face? Do you think the Mavericks are going to be good in the playoffs this year? And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here.